Hi everybody, welcome to the third edition of Fireside Chats with Miss Lays. I was not planning to do one during spring break because I am trying for my own mental health to take a break from all things school, which I hope you are doing as well. But given the news yesterday that we are not going to be returning to school before the end of the semester, I kind of felt like I wanted and needed to address that with all of you. And the best way I know to do that is to share how I'm reacting to it and hopefully give you a space to process the way that you're feeling about it as well. So I'm feeling a whole lot of feels. I'm trying to allow myself to process them and to not get so focused on doing that I am escaping the feeling. So I looked at my to-do list this morning and I then put it away and I let myself cry. And this was the first time that I really felt like I needed to cry through this whole process because I am mostly just feeling really sad. And I know a lot of you are feeling the same way. One positive for me is that as many of you know, I have a lot of anxiety. And then not knowing whether we were going back or not was really stressful to me, especially from a content perspective, because I have a really hard time wrapping my head around the online learning and what that's going to look like. And so feeling like we were being given blocks of time, like, okay, for the next 2 weeks and then for the next month, was creating a lot of stress for me in terms of figuring out how to pare down the information and what to teach when and moving things around. So I have a little bit of relief knowing it's through the end of the semester just because it makes it easier for me to transition the way I'm planning to teach. But that's kind of the only positive thing I can think of. I am letting myself sleep a little later in the morning, which I guess is good. But other than that, I'm mostly just feeling really sad and disappointed. I realized this morning that for you seniors, I'm still hoping maybe we'll be able to do something for you for graduation or even just have a big party or something in the summer when we're allowed to be around each other. But I will not ever have you in my classroom again and be able to just, laugh with you and see those moments where something that we're learning clicks for you. And that makes me really sad. I'm hoping I'll still see a lot of you on our Zoom office hours, but you're probably not going to be in my classroom again, and that makes me really sad. For a lot of you juniors, I had you as freshmen in history, and now I've had you in health and in psychology, and that's it. I don't teach anything else, so I won't ever have you in class again either, which also makes me very sad. I was thinking last night maybe I could come up with a new class that I could teach and get it on the schedule real fast for next year so I could have you again, but I don't think that probably is very realistic. So that loss is real for me, and I am definitely grieving over the fact that even though I may see you again, it's not going to be in the same way. And I really do miss you all. I miss your smiles. I miss laughing with you. I miss just seeing you walk in my classroom door. I think about you all the time. And it's hard to not be with you. And I feel really worried for a lot of you. And I know that some of you are really enjoying this time and you're learning about yourself and you're exploring things and you're connecting with your family. But I also know that for a lot of you, being at home all the time is really hard, and that the news that's coming out is scary and it feels overwhelming. And I feel all of that too. And so trying to process all of that, even as an adult, is pretty overwhelming. So I know for a lot of you, it's a struggle. I also know that for some of you, home is not a comfortable place to be. And for some of you, it may not even be a safe place to be. And so I want to remind you that even though it's spring break and the counselors aren't working and I am trying hard to not check my email and things like that, There are community resources available, and if you email me, I probably won't look at it because I'm trying to avoid my email, but I have an automatic reply on that has phone numbers and organizations and contacts for you if you do need help during this time. And then also when we come back from spring break next week, the counselors will be working again. We will be in communication with everybody. So we are still here to support you. We have your back, even if it's remotely and through a computer screen. We're here for you, and we want to take care of you, and we want to support you. However that looks, we don't even know what it's going to look like because new information is coming in all the time. But you are not alone in this. You have a lot of people who care about you. We're thinking about you. If you have questions, like I said, I'm really trying hard to not look at my email, but you can send them. And even if I don't look at them, we can look at them together next week. And I've probably talked for too long already, but it's making me feel connected to you all, even if it's just me talking to a screen. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is a lot of people have been sending me messages about all the stuff they're getting done during this time, which I think is awesome. And I definitely like feeling productive, and I like checking things off my to-do list. Mrs. Cullen always talks about, I love the phrase she uses, which is productively procrastinating. And I do that a lot, where there's something I need to do that I don't particularly want to do. And so I find things that I don't really need to do, but could be done, and focus on those instead. And I think that that's okay sometimes. I think it's okay to escape from the overwhelming amount of information and the feelings that you're having until you are in a space where you can really process them. But I want you to make sure that you are finding space and finding a way to actually feel your feelings and deal with what's going on. Because if you're not doing that throughout the process, I think that it's gonna be much harder for you to thrive during this time. And thriving is going to look really different for all of us, and it may not look like what thriving would normally look like for you, and that's okay. That's real life. That's what happens in a situation like this. But I want you to make sure that you're processing and not avoiding by escaping. And I will remind you one more time that using substances to avoid feeling what you're feeling or coping and processing is probably just going to make the situation and the way that you're feeling even worse. So please, please, please avoid using any nicotine, drugs, alcohol, anything like that, especially during this time. And again, know that Molly, oh no, I just called Molly Michaela. Molly, it's okay. That yes, you don't want them to use substances either. Thank you. She's like Officer McGruff. She's like, don't use any substances. So there's support also for you if you want to quit using anything. So ask for help, ask for support if you need it. We are here for you. I'm going to end it now because Mike's freaking out. So I miss you. I'm thinking about you. Stay strong, stay safe and healthy. See you next week.